Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis, and today we're going to be talking about Casper Network, aka Casper. So sit back, relax, and before we fully jump on into this video, I just want to ask you guys to please leave a like on this video. It does help the channel grow immensely. And of course, if you guys do find any information in this video valuable, useful, interesting, whatever it is, definitely hit that subscribe button and turn notifications on, as it also does help the channel grow, and I do greatly appreciate it. Now, I have been talking to you guys about a lot of altcoins lately. I've been talking to you guys about XRP and HBAR almost on the daily forever now. But Casper is one that has been taking a little bit of a spotlight on my channel. A lot of people were asking me questions on if I was getting paid by Casper. Absolutely not. That's absolutely ridiculous. I will tell you guys, if I do get paid by any asset, if I do, I pretty much don't accept payment at all for, talking about an asset, because this is my overall, I always do research on assets that I do personally like and see potential behind and that I'm actually invested into. I don't like to just talk about things that, I'm getting paid to, for an example, which I've never taken a payment on any project that is. So, when we're talking about Casper, it is authentic, it is real, and overall, we're going to be talking about it in terms of where we could really kind of see it in price, where I personally see it by the end of 2022, and where we could see it beyond 2022. So, let's just jump in and let's talk about this. So first off, to really understand Casper, you really need to understand the inefficiencies of, a lot of the crypto assets in the space, specifically Ethereum. So, Ethereum by itself has many issues. Scalability issues, fee issues. There's a lot of problems that come with Ethereum. Now, although there's many issues with Ethereum, it does not stop being utilized, it does not stop being adopted, and of course it does not stop being talked about as a massive gem. But, of course, there is other assets out there that are specifically, more efficient. They don't get a lot of recognition, they don't get a spotlight, and that's exactly why I like to talk about these specific assets. More so, this is why I like talking to you guys about Casper, because Casper is a gem. Casper is an asset, aka a layer 1 technology, that is making the inefficiencies of Ethereum pretty much disappear on its own network. That's why I like to talk about Casper. I see a massive upside potential for this asset because this is essentially, Ethereum 3.0 before Ethereum 2.0 is even out. So let's actually talk about Casper, and let's actually talk about some things that are actually happening on Casper. So first off, I've been talking to you all about some major developments, upgrades for Casper. For an example, we've been seeing a lot of use cases coming from Casper. We've been seeing a lot of, updates within the Casper ecosystem specifically. And when we're talking about Casper from an overall development standpoint, there has been a lot of things that have launched on Casper that were kind of a little bit of a disappointment. We've seen Casper Pad have a fairly bad overall launch, but of course they did fix it since then. But I do believe that Casper Station could get very interesting if done right. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to do it right. I'm not saying that it's going to be an absolute gem of a launch. I'm just saying overall, I do believe that we should be watching specific assets like this, or not specific assets, but specific use cases like this, because I think that this is something that does add a lot of value to the network. I also think that it is something that adds a lot of value in general to Casper from an overall development standpoint, but also, it does really add a lot of value just to Casper overall. Now, when we're talking about a lot of these projects, I do want to see a lot more than just launch pads on Casper. We've been seeing a lot of those. It's kind of getting a little bit old. I want to see a lot more. I actually want to see, things being launched that aren't specific, like for an example, like we see a lot of staking, updates. We see a lot of DeFi things. Overall, I just want to see something unique. I want to see something diverse. We already have that technically with WiseKey and WiseArt, but I just want to see more of it because I think that it's a little bit lackish. Now, I will say this. I do want to talk to you guys about some price appreciation as well, because we are seeing stuff launch, but it's a little bit slow, and I think that we need to see a lot more developments happening on Casper. It's actually slowed quite a bit. That's why I haven't been talking too much about Casper. It's been hard to make daily videos on it because there's not too much content behind it. But we have been seeing a few updates overall that are fairly significant, to say the least. But let's actually talk more so about Casper's price appreciation. So we know that its all-time highs are somewhere up into like the $4 to $60 range. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous, some of the candle wicks. But of course, I'm more so dead set on $4. I've always said this. But we do see here, Casper getting very tight on the daily. Bollinger, bands squeezed tight on the 4-hour, 1-day TFs, volatility incoming, and of course we do see here, given how oversold, sitting on uptrend and DAP launches pending, fingers crossed, a break to the upside. Let's see what the weeks bring. And I do completely agree with this overall statement. We are tightening on the overall chart. We are tightening very close, and we are getting to the point where we are either in make it or break it areas. Now, the significance of this isn't the idea that, hey, we're going to have this massive breakout, it's going to be huge, and we're going to go to the moon. No, not specifically. But I will say this. In general, when we're talking about where we are currently with Casper, and when we're talking about a lot more launches happening on Casper, I believe that things could get very interesting very fast as we do kind of move towards around, the end of Q1. I know that when we're talking about 2022 and the end of Q1, we still have quite a bit of time left. I'm just saying, we could range on a little bit more, but I do believe that we will see a lot more price appreciation for Casper eventually, very soon, and I'm actually very excited for that. In fact, I'm actually excited for a lot of the launches that are going to be happening on Casper, specifically, around the point of course, dApps and specific use cases in general. Like, for an example, launch pads are cool, but I want to see a lot more things launched, which we are seeing a lot more talks of NFTs and stuff. Now, where could I see, Casper by around the end of 2022? Well, I do believe that $1.50 is pretty much, I would say it's programmed in. I think that we do see $1.50 very soon. Thank you for the tag on this, by the way, Ghosted Value. But overall, when we're talking about $1.50, the reason why I say that $1.50 is pretty much close to being programmed in is because when we're looking at the overall Fibonacci levels here, specifically when we're talking, okay, so let's actually take a little bit of a back seat real quick, and let's actually zoom out just real quick. So on this tab, I actually reversed the pretty much fib levels, which is technically the right way to look at it, but I like to look at the other way because it gives us a little bit of a sort of downtrend fib level. But the reason why I say around $1.50 to $1 itself is kind of programmed in is because I do believe that we will see these massive stretches out to pretty much $1 range up here. In fact, when we're talking about some of the target points that we need to target currently, we're looking at 36 cents almost, 55 cents almost, 74 cents almost, even 85 cents, even all the way up to 93 cents. And that's not the bare minimum. That's not where we pretty much just go to. I'm just saying that's pretty much what I currently see overall on the scale. Now let's kind of hide everything. Let's kind of zoom out real quick on the daily and really kind of address this. So I've always said that around $4 to $7 is reasonable, and the reason why I say that is because up here is around $4.40. These are some strong candle wick bodies. It's not something like this massive wick all the way up to 60 some dollars that we've seen back here, which is $66.50. I'm not going off of that, more so specifically because it's not realistic, but I will say $4 to $7 is my realistic target points. Now, I'm not saying that I'm going to wait astronomically until that does get hit. I'm just saying I will sell, some at $1 to $1.50 and to even $2, and then of course my major sells will be at $4 to $7, outlined in my exit plan, as you guys are probably all aware. I still have an in-depth exit plan on my website for that specifically, but the reason why I'm more so dead set on this becoming, a realistic thing is because first off, we also have to look at the token unlocks, which there's not really that major, amounts of unlocks anymore. A lot of these are kind of diminishing, and there's not really too much that will break or make the price here at all. Yes, we do still have releases for the next 6 months, but you guys can pretty much see this, and it's pretty transparent from Casper's side to really kind of address this and see where we currently are. Now, I'm not too worried at all on the tokenomics for Casper at all. I'm more so just concerned on the overall development standpoints. I still believe that this is a massive Web3 gem, and with Web3 adoption kind of growing and growing and growing, as you guys are probably all aware, from Web 1 to 2 to even 3 currently, we are still seeing a lot more, adoption happening within the Web 3.0 scene. We're seeing a lot of just adoption in general, talking more so about even Grayscale talking about Web 3. Crypto and Web 3 are not just disrupting our current legacy financial system. They're an effort to make finance better, says our CLO. And when we're talking about Web3, things are getting very interesting here because we are still seeing a lot more talks and articles about it. Web 3.0 is coming, top 5 crypto and blockchain projects that are leading the transformation, which we know Casper's not mentioned at all, which tells me, guess what, they don't really know about Casper. Casper's still early in its infancy stages, but we also see that, Web3 is growing and growing and growing in terms of search interest. In fact, look at it skyrocketing from January 2021 to just January of 2022. This is absolutely ridiculous. And the reason why I think that this is going to actually help Casper's case is because we know that Casper, one, is a massive Web 3.0 gem, specifically targeting a lot of Web 3.0 markets, but it's also the idea that Casper itself is so development and enterprise friendly in terms of what it does offer them in value. So it doesn't make sense to me why it wouldn't be valued at $1 plus eventually during this year. Of course, that's why I HODL it. That's why I continue to accumulate it. It's not financial advice. You guys could do your own research, but I'm just saying from the overall chart, from where we are now, kind of tightening around this point of relief that I've been talking about for a while, we still need a lot more volume. We still need a lot more strength. But I'm just saying from my overall viewpoints, with everything kind of continuing to launch and build out, like Casper Station's cool and all, and I'm not taking anything away from them. I'm just saying I want a lot more than just launch pads built on this ecosystem. Like, I think that there's so much more potential than just launch pads in general, but I do believe that this could get very interesting very fast if we do see some interesting use cases being built from it. Casper Pad wasn't a disappointment, or I shouldn't say it wasn't a major disappointment, but it was a little bit disappointing on launch date when it did have a lot of issues, and that pretty much was a little bit of a daunting fact for a lot of individuals that were waiting for it. It was something that was a major disappointment to those, but of course I'm looking forward to the brighter future with a lot more updates to come for Casper, as should you. So with that in mind, if you guys do hold Casper, definitely hit that like button. If you guys don't hold Casper and you guys did enjoy this video and you learned something, definitely hit that like, subscribe, and turn notifications on button. Of course, I hope that you all have, a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. If you guys do want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. It's been Nick. Peace out, guys.